All right, this is the Tuesday, October 16th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you. It is a much chillier morning this morning than what we had for our Monday. 36 degrees out there in Banner Elk this morning. That's a live look there from the webcam up there in Banner Elk. And we have a lot of fall color up there in the mountains, the spots, and many, really the overall mountains in the peak of the fall color, except above about 4,500 feet. Those areas have now really past the peak of the fall color season, but some really nice colors still to enjoy in many mountain spots, and some great weather to head up that way here over the next couple of days too. The radar very quiet here across our area. We have a few areas of some showers up in parts of the northeast, and then a lot of action in the Pacific Northwest over that way. Storm systems kind of moving into that part of the country. Some snow in the higher elevations there, and that storm system still a couple of days away from playing a role in the weather in the eastern United States. Now, yesterday we had some rain across parts of the region and some thunderstorms too. You can see some of the heavier rain totals actually around parts of the Triad area up into the foothills, some spots over an inch of rain up that way. Highs yesterday were mainly in the 70s once you got outside of the mountains, and some 80s worked in toward the sandhills and the coast. And current temperatures much cooler now behind a front, some 40s and 50s in many spots, and again even up into the mountains there are some 30s involved. Now, the satellite imagery this morning featuring some cirrus clouds. That is actually some orographically enhanced or induced cirrus clouds there. The wind hitting the mountains just right to produce that quick little veil of cirrus clouds. That'll erode away later today. Now, in the tropics, wanted to show you what's going on. We have Rafael there. That is a hurricane that is in the western Atlantic basin, northeast of the Bahamas. This is the 5 a.m. advisory on that hurricane. You saw that very quickly. It's a Category 1 hurricane. It'll pass a little east of Bermuda and then head over the cooler waters, turning into a non-tropical type of system in the north parts of the Atlantic Ocean. All right, so on to the modeling here. This is the European upper level chart here for this afternoon. Here comes the next piece of energy that'll play a role in our weather later this week, diving through the Pacific Northwest. That's going to turn into a really sharp trough here. Watch what happens here as we get out toward Thursday. Big closed upper level low sitting over the Midwest. That'll drive a cold front eastward and into our region. That trough then just kind of settles through the eastern parts of the country for the tail end of the week. So let's shift gears and look at the GFS model rather. That was the European upper levels. Here's the GFS at the surface. Very quiet day today. A lot of sunshine, highs in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Tomorrow day, that'll feature highs probably in the low and mid 70s across the region. Again, a lot of sunshine. Now, that next cold front will approach Thursday, and the GFS not really aggressive with rain chances, but I'm going to maintain the chance of at least a couple showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two. As Thursday unfolds, now the European slower with the movement of the front. The GFS blows it on through here, and I'm going to side with the quicker timing right now of the GFS and go with the dry forecast for Thursday. And then really the forecast for the weekend looks beautiful. Saturday, fantastic. Sunday, we're in great shape. High pressure right overhead, and the great weather continues into early next work week too. So overall, a pretty quiet setup for us with the exception of that cold front moving through right around Thursday. All right, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.